Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pursuits of Productivity podcast. Today is a very special episode. I am accompanied by my good friend as well as my roommate, Ethan Robe.
Rob,
Ethan Rob.
thank you for having
He's
me.
my new roommate. And today is not just any old day. Today is his birthday.
Thank you. This is my podcasting debut.
Do you feel older? You feel old
older.
yet?
I feel older. My back's hurting more.
Yeah, crotchety.
My back does kind of hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
This morning you were like, I have back pain.
Yeah.
I got stretches for that. I got Lyman hip
Good.
as well as Jack.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
but so Ethan,
Yes.
how old are you now?
23.
23.
Yes.
It's very nice. It's very nice. So what does Ethan like to do for fun?
What does Ethan like to do for fun? That's legal.
That you can say, that you can disclose.
Ethan likes drinking, not like alcoholic type. But
Just enjoying a beverage from
enjoying a
every now and
bevy, enjoying a bevy with a movie, or I like exercising. I like playing tennis.
Tennis.
I like watching movies. Very passionate about movies and the art of movie making.
You're also very passionate about shows, namely
Yes,
sitcoms,
about TV shows.
TV sitcoms. I guess you could call that
Yes, I also enjoy cooking,
cooking.
and I enjoy baking, even though I haven't baked in a while.
You bake?
Yes, sir.
Huh. What do you like to bake?
I like to bake bread.
Bread is fun.
Yes.
Bread is very fun.
Like that kind of big dome crusty bread that you see at Panera. at the
Oh,
window.
that's the good stuff.
Yes.
That's the good stuff. In fact, I
Um,
may go to Panera today.
I was gonna go to Panera, but I couldn't decide whether I wanted to have a turkey sandwich for the first thing of my day, big heavy full turkey sandwich,
Mhm.
or breakfast sandwich and a coffee, which I still
Ah.
haven't eaten yet. So I haven't really eaten anything today, but that's okay, Yeah. First thing I do when I wake up, cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe. I'm
Yeah.
also a caffeine addict. If I don't consume caffeine, I get headaches.
I'm one of those people that has to, I can't do anything before. I can't get up and go get coffee. I have to have coffee
Before you can go get up and get coffee?
before I even fix my hair, before I even peel my face, put my face on, because I peel it off at night and I put it on the wall.
So you molt.
Yeah, I mold. Just take off my mask.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like Red Skull from Captain America,
Yeah,
First
yeah,
Avenger. Yeah,
course.
just put my face on. Before I do that, I make coffee, so it's a pretty frightening,
image.
sight.
It's a horrible sight.
And
So
then
you don't put your face on before drinking your coffee?
Nope, coffee first.
Oh, I hope I never come across you
Yeah,
in the morning.
that's what she said, or he said.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
It's 2023, man.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know these days.
I also in the morning I like to watch cartoons.
What's your favorite cartoon?
Because I feel okay, so in the morning I have to drink coffee first. I'm very particular about what I eat first. I feel like it's very important
Definitely.
to decide what you eat for what you're not just consuming, because consuming is eating and drinking, but consuming is also taking in media or taking in a conversation.
I see.
So I really like what I like to consume for breakfast will set my whole day, of how
I agree with
how
that.
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So that's why I really like to eat fresh fruit.
Yeah.
That's what I like to eat.
First thing in the morning?
morning. Yeah. Sometimes I'll just have fruit. And a cup of coffee and a cold glass of water. And then because I find when I eat fried stuff like tater tots or sausages, hash browns, I just
Makes you groggy.
Make you groggy, makes you feel awful for the rest of your day.
Definitely.
And that's why I don't eat fast food. The only fast foods I eat will be Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or Panera.
Same.
But
Same.
I cannot eat fast food breakfast. It just makes me feel disgusting.
It's honestly.
It
Yeah.
might not make you feel disgusting, but if that's your forte,
You should feel disgusting.
you should feel fucking gross, man. Sorry, I just
No, I do that all the time.
and then, but also, like I said, consuming media.
You're more than what you eat, definitely.
Yeah, you're more than what you eat. So I like to watch a cartoon, either a Phineas and Ferb or Bluey.
I know Bluey is your
Yeah,
favorite.
Bluey is. I think I would say I like Phineas and Ferb more.
Yeah.
I just like the write. I love the writing on Phineas and Ferb. Like
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's genuinely.
The songwriting's great.
Songwriting is great.
Ferb's line delivery is excellent.
Mhm.
Just one very profound philosophical.
Doofenshmirtz is the funniest.
Oh, I
character
love
on that
Doofenshmirtz.
show. And the voice actor, I forget his name, who did that, just blew it out of the park.
He's also the writer.
with that character. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I believe he was a writer on The Simpsons before.
You can tell.
Yeah. So, I mean, just fantastic writing on that show. But, something that's easy and innocent and easy to wake up with, good way to start your day slowly.
Definitely.
Like, also just having a good, slow conversation in the morning.
Definitely.
And then just easing your way into it. I'm not a wake up and go person. I can't do that. I have to enjoy my morning.
Would you say you're a morning person or a night owl?
That's an interesting question. I would say I'm an afternoon person.
An afternoon person.
I really enjoy being out during the day.
Yeah.
Enjoying the day and being out is very important to me.
That's a very interesting point you made about the you're more than your diet. You're like a synthesizer, and your inputs, whether that be food.
Consuming doesn't just mean
You're consuming media, consuming food, and that kind of
conversations.
changes your output.
Yeah, just what you're watching.
I agree with that
you're
for
putting
sure.
into yourself,
I have to monitor my intakes because it starts changing your whole mentality.
Yeah, and it can be. I deleted TikTok for a little while just because I was just consuming so much of it, and it was just like.
That's bogging you down.
Yeah, just like, my mind was kind of rotted, so I just needed a break.
It rots your brain.
Rots your brain.
That telly's no good.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. See those videos of those little babies? Like, they're asleep and they're having a nightmare and they're doing like this. They're like crying, scrolling through.
That's crazy.
It's so bad. Like, I feel so bad for iPad kids. Like, their parents don't know how to do their job. I'm not throwing shade at parents. I mean, it's a hard job, but like, do it right if you're going to do it at all. Yeah. And instead of like parenting, when they're out in public, it's just easier to put a tablet in front of them.
I mean, when we were growing up, I know that you're a little bit younger than me, but
pretty much the same.
If I was brought to the doctor's office with my mom while she's in an appointment,
you behave.
We didn't have iPads, so we sat there.
Yeah, and we behaved.
Yeah, we sat there. We behaved. We read a book or a kid's magazine.
Looked around.
Yeah, like we just. We didn't have 24-hour entertainment.
Stimulation at all times.
Yeah.
And if you're unstimulated for like a moment, then you're uncomfortable.
I was outside a lot when I was a kid, especially during the summer. Like it was like impossible to get me inside for dinner in the summertime. And I'm really grateful for that. Because I grew up in the countryside next to a farm in a cul-de-sac. With trees and stuff that we could climb, so there was a lot of room for imagination and games. And
definitely.
Stuff like that. So, it was I was just outside all the time, and I was a summer camp director 2 summers ago.
That's fun.
And we take the kids outside, and they don't want to be outside anymore.
They're a bunch of nerds.
They would ask me to, they would
bunch of dweebs.
They would ask to go inside, saying it's too
hot out. There's mosquitoes.
Yeah, they were saying it's hot. I was like, when I was a kid, I never remembered the heat.
No, I just remembered the fun I was having.
Yeah, but the kids would just the kids would just sit under the tree in the shade, or the kids would play on the playground. It was one or the other. Yeah.
And they wouldn't like go climb a tree just for the fuck of it?
No, they just didn't want to be outside, which I'm like, this is so different.
Yeah.
They want to be inside.
The dawn of the iPad baby.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what they're like when they go to college.
I know. What's that going to be?
Very
I'm scared.
I'm
scared because like there's so many stunted kids coming out down the pipeline.
Yeah. I consider myself a very grounded person.
I'd agree with that very much so. You're very level-headed.
And I feel like level-headedness is definitely
a commodity.
Yeah, these days it's definitely a commodity. I mean, I see these TikToks of this guy in like NYC or in Los Angeles.
Fucking nuts.
Going up to people and being like, just asking basic questions like, how many days in a year?
How many continents are there?
How many continents? How many states in the U.S.?
like 12.
And it's just, I can't believe it.
No, yeah.
And the people he's interviewing are our age.
Yeah.
Our age. And I just, I can't believe.
Those people are probably going to have unprotected sex and go make more of them.
It's crazy. Crazy what our world has come to.
Real, and I don't understand how or why.
Yeah.
Like, we have all these systems in place. I mean, the whole Prussian education system was created not really to make people smarter, but to make people really good at following directions. But it should instill you with some key takeaways, but it just isn't.
Yeah, I mean, critical thinking. Do you think critical thinking is something that can be taught?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. And I think critical thinking is no longer being taught.
It's follow instructions.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of we're at a liberal arts college, and it's kind of the point of a liberal arts college is to increase your critical thinking. You're taking classes of geography, of history, language, a science, an arts performance, and English. You're taking all of these for the end result of being a better critical thinker.
Being able to produce yourself.
And I just feel like that's just not the case anymore.
I feel like even at all institutions these days, really.
Like I'm in a class. I'm in a class this morning. It's called Anti-Semitism from Antiquity to Today.
That sounds fun.
It's really interesting.
Chasing them around with sticks. They're not getting sick. They must be causing the plague. They wash their hands.
Oh yeah, we do learn about some things like that. But we had a guest speaker today. I forget. I believe he's at the University of Virginia. But
UVA.
He does a lot of research about the Gospels. And in our timeline,
Like a specific gospel?
Of the Gospels, of written,
like the Old Testament?
Matthew, Paul, Mark.
Oh, so the New Testament.
Yes, he's a New Testament expert.
Gotcha.
He came in, and because that's where we are in our timeline in the class right now, talking about anti-Semitism at the time with written by when the Gospels were written, and starting in after the death of Christ and the destroying of the Second Temple by the Romans, and we were looking at Mark. We were looking at Matthew and I believe it was Mark. I'm not sure, but we were looking about when at the excerpt when Jesus was killed by Pilate, the Roman.
I wash my hands of this.
Yes, and we're reading about that and discussing, wash my hands of this, and discussing how it was basically written to be anti-Jewish. And
oh, really? Like the people who wrote it had bias.
Yeah, and saying that there's this new religion, but during this political climax of Roman leadership
of the whole area
and
whole world, really.
People like Matthew are going out and trying to start this new religion while trying to remain on the good side of this very
totalitarian
tiptoe around them
bureaucracy.
So how do you make this new religion valuable to people? How do you make people say, oh yeah, you blame the Jews for killing Jesus, and people say, well, I don't want to be one of them anymore.
Because Jesus was righteous.
Yeah, if they're the ones that were murdering him, I'll join you. And they're like, we're going to do that. It would be like a business plan. We're going to blame the Jews so that people will join us.
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting class. And then he opens it up to discussion, and I'm the only one asking questions.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like a majority of my classes, honestly, no one contributes. And I'm like one of few who actually raises hands, talks.
Oh, I raise my hand like this.
Yeah, same. I'm just like, ooh.
I just hate it in class, and people are like...
Yeah, that's true. Well, they do nothing. They're just like...
I'm like, can everyone raise their hands? They're like, raise them high. Like, come on, energy. Where's the energy?
I know. It's like you're 20 and you're acting like this. What are you going to be like when you're 60, bro?
People's energy is just drained these days.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Probably from social media.
Definitely from social media.
But, I mean, you walk around campus and people are just like zombies.
Yeah, focus is just dispersed.
On a beautiful Friday.
Yeah.
It's beautiful outside.
Absolutely.
Nice and sunny, blue sky. And like I said, it's a Friday. It's gorgeous. But
go take advantage. Seize the day.
People are just so quiet.
Looking down.
And yeah, I just wish there was something I could do.
I mean,
break them out of their shell.
Shake them up. Just smack them.
Yeah, I was listening to the song "Little Less Conversation" by Elvis Presley, and I feel like that song
It's
is
oddly
like
pertinent.
my anthem.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I just like when people just aren't engaging. I'm like, just talk, say something, stop staring. Like,
Are you a
think.
zombie?
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating when you're in a group of people, and you're just trying to just get them to talk. It's a lot harder than you expect.
Focus is like a finite resource, and when you're dispersing it by like looking at this thing and then that thing and then this thing and then that thing and then this thing and then that thing and then for 20 minutes, hours even, because some people I know have screen times of like 10 hours a day where they're just consuming, and they're dispersing their focus that they could be channeling into one thing, and where your focus growth goes, you know, like if you want to work on something, you focus on it, eventually it'll improve over time. And
Yeah.
if you're not putting that into
Practice
anything,
makes perfect.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you're not putting that finite resource of focus into something that could be beneficial to your life, like getting better at talking to people or a skill you want to build.
I was a quiet child, with in home videos that we have when I'm, you know, maybe a video of me when I'm 6.
About a wee lad.
Yeah, wee lad. I never talked in the home videos, and like we watch them, and I'll just like sit there and I'll, you know, maybe go get a drink, come back, and I'll say to my mom like, "Have I talked yet?" Like, no, you know, just a quiet kid, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was very shy, up
Most kids
until
were shy.
yeah, I feel like most kids are shy up until 5th grade, and then I, you know,
Kind of blew up a little bit.
blew up, became social just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then further into high school, I was really into, you know, you gotta become the person that you want to be. If you say I want to be a nice person, just practice being nice.
Nice,
And,
yeah.
and I knew that I wanted to be a more confident, outspoken, extroverted person, so I just did.
Started
you know, and
implementing
now that's
it,
just
being
me.
mindful.
You know?
Yeah.
But you know, you're conscious of it first. You're like, I'm gonna go up to this person. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna go up
Yeah.
to this person. I'm gonna say, hey, I like your outfit.
No, yeah, I would do the same thing. I would have a requirement to myself in high school and middle school where I would have to compliment 5 people every single day, even if I didn't know them. Like, I like something about them. I'm gonna tell them. Tell them,
Tell
man.
them. Yeah.
It's good for you.
Confidence is amazing.
Or even just
you know?
asking out girls who are like, I had no intentions with, but I'd just be like, hey, I think you're really cute. Can I have your number? Because it's not even about actually wanting something out of it. It's more so just about having the confidence just to go ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
In case I did.
Exactly.
Okay, now is time for
It
our
did- it-
ASMR
it did
segment.
I thought I was gonna burp, but I'm not good at burping.
Really?
Like I don't like belch.
I can burp on command. Also,
I can.
if I cram like a bubbly drink down, like a carbonated beverage,
Maybe if I've had a carbonated bubbly.
see, on
See?
command. I
Like,
could you just swallow air.
can't.
You just swallow air.
I can't.
You're just like,
Can't do it.
you're like forcing it down with your palate. This is an hilarious segment. But
Do you want to talk about The Office?
yes,
Before you guys joined, I was talking about Meredith Palmer from The Office.
oh yes,
I love Meredith Palmer. I was saying that I believe we all became Meredith during the pandemic.
For a little bit of preface, he is obsessed with the sort of
Office expert right here.
The Office, as well as similar shows that are sort of like that
Parks
awkward,
and Rec, Superstore.
awkward humor style.
Yeah, I love mockumentary style.
Yeah,
Superstore,
mockumentary.
I love Schitt's Creek. I love It's Always Sunny. One of the best shows.
It's just so funny.
Caitlin Olsen, who plays Dee Reynolds, is right now her and Amy Poehler. I think Caitlin Olsen is the funniest woman on TV.
Yeah.
And Dee Reynolds is the funniest female character on TV right now.
It's quite the
She's
claim.
up there with Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler is just a
Comedy legend.
comedy legend. Leslie Knope, her character Leslie Knope, Parks and Rec, just also one of the funniest women on female characters on TV. But the number one, I always say they're almost the number one funniest female character of any television show that will always, she will always be number one is Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy.
Oh,
If you want to
absolutely.
learn anything about comedy, because I grew up I grew up watching I Love Lucy over and over again. I grew up watching Gilligan's
Honestly,
Island
same.
as
Yeah.
well. I grew up with these old school comedies, and that's really how I learned comedy.
I mean, that slapstick.
Was just, you know,
Defying expectation.
comedy, I believe, is not something you can be taught. I believe
You observe it when you're little.
you have to have a funny bone.
Yeah.
Some people just aren't funny.
They just
that's okay.
don't.
But you have to have a funny bone.
Yeah.
And just watching. You don't need to read a book about comedy or anything.
Comedy
Just-
analysis.
Yeah, just watch. You know, just
Empirically.
observe the experts. Observe Lucille Ball, who just she was just like she knew the science.
The timing.
Yeah, the timing. I mean, she had everything. She had some
The
people are
slapstick
better
elements,
at.
the
Some people
physicality.
are physical comedians. Some people are really good.
Chris
at
Farley.
comedy. Chris Farley.
Yeah.
But
Very physical.
I mean, Lucy just had everything. She had everything down, and a lot of people don't know this, but Lucy was basically running the show.
Really?
As
Was she a producer?
in the No, I mean she wasn't listed as a producer because she was a woman in the 1950s.
Can't have a woman say.
And NBC, she was one of the first NBC shows. Lucille Ball started in radio.
Really?
She was on a radio show called My Favorite Husband. I know, you know, super.
Risque.
Yes, no, super 50s. You know.
Oh, yeah.
My Favorite Husband. You know, I'm so loyal to him.
Oh, I thought I was saying like implying several
Oh
multiple.
no.
Like of my husband's my
no,
favorite
it was like
husband.
My Favorite Husband. You know, I stay home when he
Oh,
goes to
okay,
work,
so he's
that
my
kind of
favorite
thing.
husband. Yeah.
And that was a radio show. But radio shows, if you listen to old radio shows on YouTube, and you can listen to My Favorite Husband, they recorded in front of a live audience.
Really?
So
So it was like the equivalent of a talk show, I guess.
yeah, so Lucy was performing this basically like performing a play and recording it. So people on the radio are hearing it live.
But people are also watching
People
it
are
in
also
person.
watching. And a couple of men noticed just how funny Lucy was and just how the audience reacted to her facial expressions.
They ate it up.
And they said, we're starting this new television broadcasting company called NPC, and we want to turn My Favorite Husband into a TV show. That's how Lucy got into television. I mean, she's just the expert. Bob Denver as Gilligan in Gilligan's Island, just absolutely perfect. Line delivery. I mean, everyone in that show.
Yeah.
Line delivery from Bob Denver, incredible.
I haven't done my due diligence for Gilligan's Island.
Amy
for sure.
Poehler, Parks and Recreation.
Oh, I love her. Amy Poehler's the best.
I say that I believe that Amy Poehler is Lucille Ball reincarnated. Like
It's quite the claim.
I see her facial expressions sometimes in the show look exactly like Lucy. Like there's this one episode where Leslie gets the flu, and she's in the hospital and she's like super loopy, and then she takes flu medicine, and then she takes more flu medicine.
Oh, that stuff will make you hallucinate. Yeah.
So she shows up to the Chamber of Commerce to give a speech, and she's wearing her jeans like a
shawl.
like a shawl. So she shows up and she's like super loopy, and just her face and the way she walks, she goes, "Wait a second, the floor and the wall just switched." Walk very carefully, and in that moment, I was like, "That she looked like Lucy."
Yeah.
Just the way she was
Creeping.
looking around and like just incredible comedy. And then Caitlin Olsen as Dee Reynolds, like I said, funniest woman right now on television. I love the character of Dee because she puts everything out there. She's raunchy. She doesn't, you know, she wears makeup sometimes when she's like, you know, trying to impress a man. But then Dee also looks very natural. So like she's a real person. She puts on makeup when she wants to. She's not one of those women on TV that's
Caked
always
up.
Caked up. And Dee,
I hate makeup, man.
I love Dee because she's just so like a lot of women on TV shows are written to be like perfect, you know. And Dee walks into the room. She's the only woman in the group,
Yeah.
in the gang. She walks into the room. She's like, "What up, boners?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Ayo." She's like, "Suck a bag of dicks."
Yeah.
Like,
She's funny.
She just says what comes to her mind, and a lot of women in TV and movies are just so like
Complimentary towards male
complimentary
characters.
towards male, or they're capped off.
Yeah.
And they're like, because you know, women aren't supposed to be you know, just like that. But
Vulgar.
Dee is vulgar, but Dee is so vulgar, and that's what makes her absolutely hilarious. That she's
Yeah.
unapologetically Dee, and she doesn't apologize to men. She does not apologize to men, and she's so funny.
This is a show I think you'd really like.
Which one?
I think it's like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Marvel. I've seen 2 episodes of that.
That show's so funny. My
I
parents
need
have
to get
been
back,
on
but
a
it
kick
is
lately.
about, it's about comedy.
Yeah,
So.
I think it's based off of Joan Rivers loosely.
Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, I've only seen the pilot and the episode after that. But
Well, it's
from what I watched, it was pretty good.
it's kick-ass, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes of My Folk, and it's so funny and sweet and heartfelt and really well produced.
And they're Jewish. The characters are
Ah.
Jewish. Yeah. Today's Rosh Hashanah, Shana Tova.
Hey.
Happy New Year. Yeah, so I just love television shows. Meredith Palmer, also another great female character. She's just super raunchy. Like, she's just the office drunk. She's like, my New Year's resolution is to stop drinking during the week.
During the week.
And when they're having their women's meeting, Jan is like, where do you guys see yourself in 1 year? Meredith is like, 1 year I hope to be 1 year sober. 6 months. 4. Like, I just love that character.
Yeah.
I love that character, and I love that Kate Flannery just took Meredith and ran with her. It just made her totally unique. I feel like that TV show was just cast perfectly. Perfect cast. I mean, Rainn Wilson as
Also
Dwight.
complimentary.
Rainn Wilson was Dwight. Perfect.
Dwight's, yeah.
He was born to play Dwight Schrute. And I love Dwight because Dwight doesn't change from season 1 to season 9. I mean, he changes a little bit, you know, but I just love the character of Dwight because he doesn't change for anybody.
Remember they tried to make a spin-off?
Yeah, I feel like that's what they were doing at the end of season 9 with Dwight getting the farm.
Yeah.
They're kind of setting it up, but I'm glad they didn't do a spin-off.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of, you gotta let these characters go and just think about
What they could be doing.
Yeah.
It's part of the
You know,
fun.
Michael and Holly are in Colorado living. Michael finally had a family.
Aw.
Yeah, I love Michael. Michael finally has a family, and Pam said that Pam has a talking head and was like, Michael finally, he has so many pictures of his kids, he had to get 2 phones that he pays 2 separate phone bills for, and he's so happy to finally be on a family plan.
Oh.
That
Wait, so
Michael-
was that like a part of his character development throughout the show? Like at the beginning of the show? Remember you mentioned something
Yeah,
about
Michael
that the other
Scott.
day.
Michael Scott. His number one goal that that is hinted out throughout the entire series is that he just wants a wife, a kids, and a house in the suburbs.
Mhm.
That's all he wants because that's what he couldn't have. So that's all Michael Scott wants in life, which is like, it's heartbreaking when he's lonely.
Hasn't been able to get it.
Because he struggles with loneliness, and that's why he refers to the office as his family. And that's what makes Michael the world's best boss. It's because he treats his office like a family.
He really loves him.
Yeah, he really loves them. And I watched a video.
Steve Carell's the man.
Steve Carell's, and your business, right?
Yeah.
I watched an interesting video that I can show you about why Michael Scott is the best boss. Because when the company is going under, and Michael goes to the shareholders meeting in New York, every other branch in the company of Dunder Mifflin is dying, but his branch, Scranton, keeps getting better and better numbers every year. And they have Dwight, who's the best salesman in the company. But it's just their little room. And the question is, like, they ask Michael.
What are you doing?
David Wallace says, what are you doing? And Michael has no answer.
I like working with them.
Because he's just being himself. And he's literally, the office dynamic would have been unsuccessful if it was the boss is the straight man.
Bureaucracy.
The employees are the one annoying him. But they switched it. He's the annoying boss that distracts them from doing work.
Yeah.
So, Michael, the video had like different sections. Michael brings like creativity and play into the office, which when you become an adult, like that goes away.
Definitely.
You're told there's creative people and there's not creative people. Leave the creativity to the creative people. When we're all creative. And Michael brings that into the office with these new ideas that are out of the box, the ideas that you need. Like when he does the plan fails. Actually, it fails, but then it ends up being good. Michael has the idea of a golden ticket idea. He comes to the office dressed as Willy Wonka, rolls on the ground, and he has a really good business idea comes from imagination. Michael uses his imagination. He prints out 5 golden tickets that offer, whichever company unboxes their paper has the ticket, they get 10% off their next purchase. And it's a genius idea, you
Yeah.
know? Great idea. Unfortunately, Michael goes down to the warehouse and he puts them all on the same pallet. So all 5 of the 10% discount coupons, the
Go
golden
out.
tickets go to Blue Cross, which is one of their biggest clients.
Clients.
So they were going to lose a lot of money. But then at the end, Blue Cross ends up making Dunder Mifflin their personal company for
Oh, so they're
all
part.
office supplies.
Yeah.
But Michael almost got Dwight fired because of it. But it's a good idea, and he engaged in imagination,
Hmm.
and was like, hey, I like that movie. That'd be a great idea to do golden tickets. So he brings creativity and play and imagination into the workplace, which doesn't happen
Definitely.
anymore.
This
And
is something I've noticed too.
and it just makes Michael a great boss. Also, that the office is family, and he makes everyone go to each other's weddings. They have parties where they get wasted. I mean, Meredith gets wasted at every single party.
Just wasted at work, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Meredith drinks at work.
Yeah.
Whenever you see Meredith with like a big gulp cup, she always has like vodka or
Yeah.
something into it. But I love the dynamic of those characters in The Office. I love how individual they are. Like Angela's so
Yeah,
different.
complimentary.
Yeah, Angela's so different from Creed,
Hmm.
and like you can they're just two distinguished characters. I love Creed Bratton. Great one-liners.
Yeah.
Like, and the man doesn't come from comedy, but he's just one of those people that has comedy.
Hmm.
Because Creed Bratton was a singer, and he's still a singer.
Really?
Yeah, he led a band called the Grassroots.
Is this
late
like the
1960s.
actor or the character?
So his character's also named is Creed Bratton.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Creed.
Yeah.
Very Creed. Just like Creed Bratton plays Creed Bratton. Like, which one's the real Creed?
Yeah.
I just
Is he
love
playing a character?
I just love that Creed just has the most out of pocket lines.
Yeah.
Like he's like, the Taliban's the worst. Great heroin though. And it's just no explanation. And it's just like in the middle of an episode.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Why'd you say that? What does that mean?
it's so funny.
Yeah.
He's so hilarious. John Krasinski's hilarious
Oh yeah.
as Jim.
He's an action guy now.
Jenna Fisher is hilarious as Pam. Angela Kinsey is hilarious as Angela Martin. Brian Baumgartner as Kevin.
You know your stuff.
Yeah, I love that cast.
You know your
they're-
stuff.
They're fantastic.
See, I haven't done my due diligence.
Ensemble,
I never really watched. I've only watched bits and pieces of The Office.
What another great ensemble, sitcom, and one of the best sitcoms on television is Superstore. It was written by one of the Office writers, Justin Spitzer.
Is that Cloud9? Or...
Yeah, Cloud9 Superstore.
Yeah.
And like America Ferrera is the kind of like the first one on like the call list, but that TV show there really is not a main character. Like it's really about the cast, and it's really cool. And it's
It's like a Walmart, right?
yeah, it's basically like an off-brand Walmart where you buy cheap stuff that breaks like as soon as you buy it, and it's about the manager and the assistant manager and all the floor workers, the warehouse workers. And that show is so diverse in a non-in-your-face way. It's diverse in a
Yeah.
real way.
Like it is. It's not like
Yeah, it's just like America Ferrera's character is she was a teen mom. That's just part of her story, and like there's people who are teen moms, and the TV show doesn't shame her for being a teen mom. There's also
nor glorify.
yeah, there's another character who's pregnant in season 1. Her name is Cheyenne, and she's 16. She's in high school, and the show they don't shame her for being a teen mom. It's just she's a teen mom. Sometimes people are teen moms or teen dads, like happens. And like it's diverse in that way. It's diverse like the cast. There's a Filipino actor. There's a Hawaiian actress. There's actors with disabilities, and they're so funny. Like there's this one character who is a Syrian refugee. He comes in the middle of the show. Absolutely hilarious guy. And it's just like, it's wonderful to see like this character that's a Syrian refugee who's just not always talking about how he's, he's oppressed and stuff. He's just hilarious. His name is Saeed, and he's just absolutely
Typically with all that stuff,
hilarious.
It's like they're cramming it down your face and they're virtue signaling and they're like trying to make it like, look how good we are, look how progressive we are. And it sacrifices the comedy factor. Because the whole point of comedy is levity. And when you're trying to cram social issues in a comedy. All that's doing is
And they do cram social issues, but in real ways, because the characters are real.
because they're people.
Like Mateo, who's a Filipino American, finds out that he technically is not an American citizen.
Really?
And that's part that comes into play in the show. There's a lot of stuff about voting rights, because the company they work for is terrible to them and doesn't let them work more than 40 hours a week. So there's a lot of stuff about that. And getting back to Saeed, that character is hilarious. Amy, America Ferrera's character, gives birth to her second child, and she has to pump in this little closet, and while she's pumping, Saeed just comes in and puts down his prayer mat and just starts praying, and he's like, that's really loud while I'm trying to pray. But then, like, as the episode goes on, it's really funny that, and I just love this writing. It's so innocent and funny, and creative that whenever it's time for Saeed to do one of his 5 prayers a day, is also like the same time Amy has to pump. He's like, Amy, about that time. And she's like, oh yeah, he's right. Like, and it's funny. It's innocent, it's great. It's great writing on that show. Absolutely hilarious.
One of my least favorite comics. Who is your least favorite comic?
Amy Schumer.
I was literally gonna say that. She's just gross.
She does not have a funny bone.
No,
Yeah.
she's just mean and gross.
She steals jokes.
Yeah,
She
I've
steals
seen
jokes.
the compilations
She's
of all the
stolen
jokes
jokes. She stole jokes at the Oscars. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The last Oscars was the three hosts.
Like the last ones where Will Smith smacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best host. It should have just been Wanda Sykes. That woman is absolutely hilarious.
Who's Wanda Sykes?
Wanda Sykes. I'll show you a picture of her. You'd know her when you'd see her.
I guess I'll put her up here on the camera, in the feed.
Wanda Sykes. Oh, it's not loading. But you would know Wanda Sykes when you saw her. You'll see her in the picture. Hilarious woman.
Does she play any like notable characters?
She just stand up. Stand up
Gotcha.
is her thing. Yeah. She has I know for a fact she has one stand up special on Netflix. Called That's Not Normal. And she has another. She had another one that came out, and she's fantastic. She's hilarious. Like, she's like one of those people that can read the phone book, and she'll be hilarious. Ken Jeong is another, Mr. Chow from.
Oh yeah, he does stand up as well.
Yeah, he does a stand up special on Netflix. Ken Jeong is another one of those comic actors that could read the phone book and just.
I'm a homobobe.
Absolutely hilarious. Like, great. I love Ken Jeong. Yeah, Mr. Chow. Mr. Chow is great.
What's that show from?
The Hangover.
The Hangover
Movie.
Oh yeah, he's a doctor.
Yeah, Doctor.
He's a doctor.
Yeah, he went to both NC State and Duke. I think he went to Duke first.
That's crazy. And he decides to pursue comedy.
Yeah, he became a doctor at 24 years old.
That's nuts.
And then he moved to California and was a working practitioner
while doing stand-up.
while auditioning.
Mm-hmm.
And The Office, he was in The Office before he did Community.
Community's so funny. He's so funny.
And he was in The Office before he did The Hangover, which put him on the map.
Oh yeah.
And so he was still acting while working. But he is in an episode of The Office. He makes a guest appearance as Billy in Michael Scott's improv class, where Michael keeps taking over the class and pretending he has a gun in every scene and killing people. Ken Jeong is in that, and he's hilarious as Senor Chang. I remember when I was watching that, my dad was like an Asian Spanish teacher. I was like, hey, because I just love, it's so funny. Senor Chang.
Yeah.
Senora Chang. Like, that's funny.
Yeah, it's a contradiction.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Dan Harmon did a great job. Like,
I love Dan Harmon's writing style.
Just saying that.
Rick and Morty's hilarious as well.
Senor Chang.
Yeah.
Asian Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time
You gotta
went
go?
to my next class. Yeah. Oh, my rabbi texted me.
He
I
texts
texted
his
me
rabbi.
happy birthday. Yeah. Oh yeah, my rabbi and I we just
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I'll text the beginning of an office quote and he'll just finish it for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Or when we talk, we'll just talk in like office
quotes.
and his wife will be like, "What is wrong with you guys?" She'll be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
What are you guys talking about right now?
No, I love his wife. And she just walk and she'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like, "What the hell? You're so stupid." Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Of course.
I hope that I can.
Of course.
Hope that I
That's
can.
a thumbnail right there.
That I can come back again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have you, Cody, anyone else, you know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The whole gang.
Yeah.
Well, this was the Pursuits of Productivity podcast. Today we talked about The Office.
The Office.
We talked about iPad babies.
iPad babies.
How much better it used to be.
How much better it used to be. We talked about comedy.
All the stuff that matters,
Yeah,
man.
stuff that matters.
Keep it light, keep it fun. That's
laugh at yourself.
the key to productivity is keeping it light and fun.
Laugh at yourself.
Laugh at
Learn
yourself.
to laugh. Learn to make jokes about yourself.
True that.
It is so fun.
It is
You know,
quite fun.
You have to be able to learn to laugh at yourself, and you have to learn how to be able to take a joke. That was beautiful.
That was from earlier.
Yeah, like how I love making gay jokes. Like,
Yeah,
no homo.
No homo, no.
Yeah, no
It's
homo.
funny because he's homosexual.
It's funny. It's funny because I'm sexually attracted to men.
Well, this was the Pursuits of Productivity podcast with my good friend Ethan. Take care, guys.
Have a blessed day.